Hello, hey there. Hi, it's Sadie from allnaturalme.com. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about a staple, really, an herb that everyone should have called peppermint. So here's my favorite way to use it, dried for a tea. But we are basically just going to study together a little bit today. I think peppermint is probably something that should be a staple in everyone's herbal medicine cabinet. Okay, so you can hear me. Good. I have a few trust issues with technology, so just wanted to make sure you could hear me. You could definitely see that I went to bed with wet hair and woke up wonderful and wild looking. So what we're going to do today is basically study a little bit together. And if you're interested in learning more about peppermint, this is going to be a great video for you. We'll probably go in circles a little bit to kind of just really get to know peppermint and really understand all the different things that we can use it for. So if you're not already drinking peppermint tea and you're watching the replay, I would push pause right now. I would just push pause and go make some peppermint tea if you have it, because it's kind of fun to be sipping on the herb that we're going to study. Now, peppermint tea is one of those teas that, like, I think you should really only steep it like no more than 10 minutes, or else it might not be as minty because it has those volatile oils. So one time I forgot that I was making tea. I put it in and I just wanted it to like boil for like 1 minute because I wanted it nice and hot, but I totally walked away and forgot. And by the time that I came back, I mean, you could still drink it, but it didn't even hardly taste like peppermint. And what we want is that toothpaste type of experience with the tea. When it's hot, you can inhale it, and as you're holding your teacup, like, this is not really hot anymore, but those vapors are very soothing to the sinus cavity. So that's how we use it here. It's good for all types of stomach stuff, intestinal tract stuff. It's uplifting. So I use it in that form. And I also use the essential oil. So we'll touch a little bit about the essential oil as well. And then I have a whole stack of books, a whole stack of notes, and we're just kind of going to go over it. So are you ready? So now what I do when I'm studying herbs, if you're a student like me, I have a folder system here, aka wooden crate, and each herb that I'm studying, I have a folder for. So I have the name up there, and then I can just sort of open it up and put all of my loose papers, because sometimes you just jot down something, on a piece of paper here like I did. And, what do you do with all your little notes? Well, this is a great way to organize your thoughts, putting them in a folder, filing system, something like that. I also, if there's something that I've printed out, I put that in there. I have some cards of peppermint, some homemade cards, and then I have some of these things too. So there's lots of different ways to gather your thoughts, or you can just remember everything in your head. So peppermint, there are a ton of different types of mint. I don't know about you, but when I read a recipe that says like 2 tablespoons of chopped mint, I absolutely want to be like, well, do you mean spearmint or like black peppermint or apple mint? Because it really does make a difference. So there's a ton of different kinds of mint, but the one that I'm really focusing on today, and they're all good, but the one I'm focusing on is like the toothpaste kind of peppermint. And if you have a suggestion of which type of plant, I have found in my garden ginger mint. Oh, I need some mint tea. Ginger mint and black peppermint are the most toothpastey type of mints. But I also have a book here, and it was saying a white peppermint or a Russian mint. I'm not sure. So if you have a suggestion for me, please comment below. So we can use the leaves and the flowers of the mint plant. It is an aromatic digestant. It's stimulating nervine, antispasmodic, which means that it calms down anything that's spasming, like your stomach. If you have a spastic stomach, if you've got gas, right? What about muscles? Maybe we could put this in a bath. We'll learn. So it's a stimulating diaphoretic, which I'd have to look up that word, and a calmative. So according to Learning Herbs, because this was part of their poster that fell apart, but I couldn't part with it, so I chopped it up and stapled it onto cardstock. It's used for upset stomach, hiccups. So if you had a case of the hiccups, you could make some of this peppermint tea. Maybe that would help, right? Because that could be like a spastic cause to that. It is used for bad breath, colds, flu, fever, sinus congestion, gas, told ya, gas, nausea, and externally to soothe itchy and inflammation of the skin. So yeah, like that's true. If we were having like itchy skin, inflammation skin, we could add this tea to our bath or just use it as a wash on the skin. You can make a tea, you can use it as a wash, and you can also tincture this plant. I wish I had some fresh, but it's just a little too early in the season here to have any fresh peppermint. So tincture it, I would recommend using it fresh. Dried, you could use it fresh, or for a tea, you could use it fresh or dried, and same with the wash. So anyways, there we go. There's a few things. Moving on. This was a cute little card deck that, are you going to focus? It was actual playing cards, but learning about wild foraging thing. It's not the best picture, so maybe that's why my camera is refusing. It's like, oh no, that's mint. That hardly looks like mint. But it does say it's mint, general mint, for foraging. It says the entire plant is edible. I would like to know if the entire plant is, because I've never heard of eating peppermint roots. So question everything, do your research. Definitely the leaves and the flowers. It's an aromatic, minty smell. If you're not sure what it looks like, rub it, smell it. Some stems are furry. Some leaves, like of the apple mint, are furry. Horse mint, that stuff's furry. It's so cute. It's sprouting up right now. So here's some suggestions from this card. It says you could eat the leaves raw, and that's true. I've been out in the yard and like working hard, your mouth is dry or just like feeling like bleh. And you're like, I don't want to go in and brush my teeth right now, but there's some mint. So you could just like chew that mint, and it really does. It's amazing. It says steep, raw, or dried for tea. Ooh, here's something that I forgot that I did once. You could dry it or fresh and put it in a vinegar. And I have done that before, but you do have to watch like when you're using it fresh. I think that's the one vinegar one time that did mold on me. Or you could add dry peppermint if you wanted a minty vinegar. Hey, anything goes. All right, it says stuffings, and you could use it for a spice. You could dry it and then use it in the winter. You could freeze this plant. You definitely can do that. I've done that before because especially like if you like that fresh mint in the summer that you make for tea, and you're like, oh, I miss it. I will miss it when it's like apple mint. It's not the same dried. So you can put it in Ziploc bags and freeze it, and then it's still really good to make tea with in the winter. So you can steam it, boil it, use it in soups. I don't know what soup that would be. In stews. You can put it in wine. You probably could make wine. Dry and store for use as a flavor additive. And here's a hint. For a soothing sleep, rest your head near mint sprigs. All right, very good. All right, so there we go. Moving along, here's a picture. Now this reminds me of what the black peppermint looks like that I grow. I would say that the dark green leaves, look at me peeking around like a creep. The dark green leaves, it will flower, these pinkish flowers. There you go, Sadie, hide behind it like a creep. All right, so here's if you want a garden, if you want this in your garden. Now, everywhere that you read, it'll be like, warning, mint is evasive, and if you plant it once, it'll grow everywhere. Kind of true, yeah. Like my apple horse mint, that spreads, but it's pretty big. I mean, I've never had a problem. I have never in my life gone out and been like, oh my God, I have too much mint. No, especially if you're harvesting it. Like if anything, you're like, I wish I had more. So here's the thing. If you're worried about it taking over your precious, perfectly planned garden, you know, you could put it in a pot, you could grow it in a container, or just put it somewhere where you won't mind it, because it self-sows. It'll drop seed. So it doesn't stay in its perfect little spot, and it will spread. But I think that's a blessing. So it's up to you. Okay, so it will thrive in a sunny spot and partial shade. Absolutely. It says it prefers moist, well-drained soil that is rich in nutrients, and it could grow up to 3 feet. It depends on what kind of mint, because my horse mint's like 4 feet. It's tall, but peppermint is definitely more lower to the ground, but it could get up to 3 feet. So, I mean, I think you'll like it in the garden. So I have seen one card say there's like 30 types of mint. This card says 600 varieties. And I think the tea book says there's like 1,000 different types of varieties or something. There's a lot of different mint. So it's hard to even pick like just one kind to love. And peppermint, you know, there's a couple different mints that taste like peppermint. All right, so let's talk about what this pleasant tasting remedy is good for. It's good for indigestion. This says it's good for arthritis, maybe because it calms down, because it's anti-inflammatory, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's why it would be good. Yeah, that is why it would be good for arthritis. It calms down inflammation. It's good for sore throats, which if I'm going to talk for an hour about peppermint, I should probably keep on sipping this tea. So if your throat is sore, peppermint tea. If you've got a cold, yes. If you have a headache, this is a good tea to drink for a headache. Also, the oil, if you don't mind like ice cold burning feeling on your skin, I like the peppermint oil for headache. It's sort of like, I don't know, brings some energy to that area of your body that has the tension. It's good for headaches. And it says irritable bowel syndrome. So any IBS stuff, any intestinal tract stuff, drink a lot of peppermint. Not just like one teeny little lady cup. I mean, like, get your mason jar mug and drink at least one of these a day if you've got trouble going on in your intestinal tract, and see if that helps. Like get a medicinal dose of peppermint into your life and see how you feel now. All right, so let's see what else this card says. I'll just scan along. It says it's a gentle antiseptic. So then we could go back to that skin wash. Antibacterial, antifungal. So let's say you've got athlete's foot. This would be peppermint would be great to soak your feet in, right? Especially like if you've had a really long day, you've had shoes on all day, you want to chill out and make your feet feel great and cool down. Summertime. And why are you even wearing shoes in the summertime? Because you had to. A peppermint foot wash, or like maybe a little lotion with some peppermint oil, would be great. And then it would curb those funguses from growing in between your toes. So peppermint can be prescribed either as a remedy tea or a topical balm to relieve itching, arthritis, and tendinitis. So it's a perennial herb. You plant it once, it will come back. It's medicinal and tasty. And the fragrance, I mean, when it starts to spread out into the yard, and it will, I still have to mow the yard. And when I hit those little peppermints, they smell so good. Like they do have to stay out of the yard. So let's see. This says the ancient Greeks used all forms of mint in a variety of herbal remedies and temple rites. They were convinced that the herb could clear the voice, reanimate the spirit, and cure a case of the hiccups, and even counteract the sting of a sea serpent. My God, I'm glad I don't have to worry about getting stung by a sea serpent. Those poor Greeks. All right, stay out of the ocean. All right, so let's see. Here's a great quote about mint, peppermint. If any man can name all the properties of mint, he must know how many fish swim in the Indian Ocean. So that is why we will go in circles with our study time here today, because it's good for so many things. You just sometimes can't remember them all. So that's good to know. So this is one of those plants, if you are a gardener, has a square stem and it will self-sow. This is saying it might try to overtake your garden. Hey, blessings though, right? It will have either pink or lavender flowers usually, and vibrant oblong leaves. So yeah, there is lots of different types of plants, peppermint plants that you can grow. You can find them at the nursery or the herb show. Usually if you have a neighbor or something, they're more than happy to give you a start of this plant for free. This says regular watering and yearly fertilizing. Well, I don't do that and it still grows just fine. But now that I have rabbits, like I probably have enough poop to go around. So I guess I could fertilize the peppermint. And the plant will die back in cold weather and reappear in warm weather. You could mulch it in the winter if you're worried about that. So anyways, yeah, there you go. That's growing peppermint. You don't need to know nothing. Just put it in the dirt. It'll be fine. Okay, so the herbs and spices. It was saying that you could use peppermint in a soup. I can't even think of any type of soup that I would, unless it was like a cucumber soup, and I don't even really think that should be considered a soup. The cold cucumber soups. Okay, very good. Hi, Mom. Okay, so let's see. The 16th century herbalist John Jared said, referring to the aroma of the peppermint plant, said, "The smell rejoices the heart of man." So it really is super uplifting. Like if I'm getting bored in my live stream, because I've already been talking about peppermint for 18 minutes, I could take a nice whiff of this peppermint oil and just really let it kind of like uplift me and get me going. Now, listen, this is only if you should dilute this if you have super sensitive skin, but I am totally okay with putting a little bit like on my hairline and in the temple, but it is cooling. Like, and I even rub it like on my gums or my tongue, like if I would want, but you use your discernment if that's good for you or not. Like this is so fresh, the oil. Like actually now that I did that, you might want to put on some lip balm. So anyways, the peppermint really does pick you up. And I'm going to use it right now for that very same thing. So this is saying, so this is going to be food. Let's see what kind of food we can work this herb into. This is saying, oh, you can make candy, duh, a peppermint, Christmas candy. You could make your own Altoids, right? You could use it in jelly, okay? A mint jelly. So, and of course, tea, you know. What gives peppermint its medicinal punch is its menthol, which is why probably its Latin name is Mentha piperita or something. It's antiseptic, antifungal, anesthetic constituent of that volatile oil. So yeah, this is also saying tincture, tea, make an oil or a syrup. A syrup would be good. Peppermint is effective in treating nausea, flatulence, that's farting, indigestion, and menstrual cramps. Okay, that's new to the list. We hadn't talked about that yet. That would be because it's antispasmodic. It calms the muscles down from like freaking out. So if you're having cramps and you're gassy and you're just like, ugh, peppermint tea is something beautiful to reach for. Okay. It as a compress on the skin, it can help with skin rashes. However, it is saying take precautions when using peppermint. Its fragrance can induce gagging in children, and menthol can be toxic to infants. So don't give it to infants, and don't give it to your kids for more than like a week at a time. And don't be rude and saying, hey, good morning. Don't be rude and say, good morning, smell this peppermint. Because literally, when I open this jar, it does take my breath away. It's that minty, especially like that first whiff. And the oil, especially even more so, because the oil is concentrated. So keep peppermint oil away from kids or whoever in your household or whichever adults can't handle it. And infants especially, don't give them anything. Goodness, don't give them anything except mama milk. Don't give them anything. So let's talk about that peppermint syrup though, because that was kind of interesting. So I'm just talking about peppermint today. This is Study Hour with Sadie, Herb Nerd episode. We're all students, and this will be a great reminder for anybody who needs to review all the things about peppermint. So that volatile oil in peppermint is a stomach soother. And I just rub peppermint on my gums, Angela. So I am like minty fresh. I love it. I like to make my own mouthwash and put a couple of drops of peppermint in it. You just have to shake it up before you use it because it lays on the top. So you want to incorporate it. But there's nothing like it. Whew. So that peppermint syrup. Now, I think they must have added some coloring to this picture because I can't imagine it would be that color green. But who knows? I haven't done it, so I can't actually say. But it is for gas reducing and stomach soothing. And it's cooling. Yeah, cool is the right word to describe it because it is cooling. This says place 2 ounces of leaves in 4 cups of water and bring to a boil. Lower the heat and simmer for 30 minutes, cools, and then strain the tea. And then you're going to add that liquid to 2 cups of honey. Now, I'm wondering how pepperminty that would actually be, though, if you simmered it for 30 minutes, because I feel like that takes the peppermint stuff out of it. So I would probably instead, why not make a peppermint honey? Just put the chopped peppermint fresh leaves in the honey and let that sit for a week or whatever. And then that honey is going to taste like mint. I don't know. Just an idea. Okay, here's an idea for a peppermint sauce. You use 2 bunches of peppermint, 5 tablespoons of black tea, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 5 tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a little bit of salt. So you can actually cook that down, strain out the leaves probably, and then you could put it on some meat dishes or new potatoes, peas, and baby carrots. So there is a lot of ways to put mint into your food. Yeah, or just put it in your wine. You could open up Angela's giving me the little wine emoji. You could open up a bottle of red wine or white wine, put the fresh peppermint leaves in it, and just like let it sit for the day or a week or whatever. And then that would be like a good tonic, right? A good little elixir remedy for after you've had a big meal, right? Oh, you just overdid it. Have a little peppermint wine. So, and that's what it's saying, the healing tea blend. Rich fatty meals can cause cramping and bloating. So make a little peppermint tea, maybe with some chamomile. Add a little chamomile and yarrow. And then that'll really help you get back on your feet after you've overdone it. Like, and when you've eaten so much you can't even move. Guilty. Guilty. All right, so some other reasons why you might want to eat more peppermint or drink more tea is if you have morning sickness, okay? If you have a nervous stomach, if you're having nausea from some type of treatment that you've been receiving. Peppermint mixed even with chamomile is a good blend. I like peppermint by itself, but if you really need more, think about mixing it with chamomile and yarrow. So yeah, that's peppermint, and it's good for pain relief, topical. You could put it on anything that's painful, and it helps increase the circulation. So it kind of like makes me want to brew a big thing of peppermint tea and pour it in my bath. Especially in the summer when you're hot and you like just mowed the grass and you're itchy and you kind of have a little too much sun, and a little peppermint tea in that night bath could really just cap the day off perfect. And remember, you can eat the leaves fresh and you can brew them in a tea. They have vitamin A, thiamine, riboflavin, and magnesium. So there's just a few more ways, a few more reasons to be like going out in the yard and justify eating that peppermint. Yeah, so peppermint's perfect for a nervous stomach because it's anti-spasmodic and it just helps calm you down. So peppermint tea, I ordered a whole pound off of Amazon. It was organic. I think it was Frontier Herbs. Frontier and Star West both sell organic on Amazon, so I get my Prime shipping. But this is only half of it. 1 pound filled up 2 of these huge half-gallon mason jars. So that's quite a bit. And we've gone through 1 already, but that's with 2 people really drinking it. Let's see, what else does it say? Nothing, but it was kind of cool making a vinegar with it. That would be probably something new to put on your salad. So just midway review, peppermint is antispasmodic. It has a calming effect on the stomach and the intestinal tract. It's good for indigestion. It's good if you have any type of cramp-like discomfort. You're not really sure why you're cramping up. Who cares? It's somewhere in your upper GI and your bile stuff. Drink some peppermint. It's really good for irritable bowel syndrome and inflammation or irritation of the gums. So it's good for your guts and your gums. So when we're drinking this tea, I hope you have some. We should probably swish it around. Yeah, Gracie, I love you. It is a gift. It really is. So whenever it wants to spread out in the yard, I let it. I encourage it. So when we're drinking this, swish it around a little bit and then swallow. And that'll keep you nice and fresh. So here's a cute little picture of peppermint tea. Isn't that sweet? That's not what I do. I'm just in the big old mason jar right now. But yeah, this has been drank everywhere for eons. It's a great drink for the summertime because it's cooling. And so preparation of the tea, you could just do 1 cup of boiling water. If you didn't want to make a whole batch, do 1 cup of boiling water and then 1 tablespoon of the dried peppermint. And really don't let it steep more than 10 minutes or else you're going to lose some of those oils. And that oil is what is going to, give you that minty fresh. So peppermint tea, like I said, is used for irritable bowel syndrome. It's also good for headaches. And it also says on this page, stimulates liver and gallbladder functions. So you guys, it keeps going on and on and on about how it's good for everything. Our list keeps growing. So motion sickness, car sickness, nausea, and it freshens your breath. It's good for gastritis, menstrual cramps. And this says peppermint is rich in the enzymes that strengthen the immune system. I didn't even try to read what the enzymes names were, but it helps strengthen your immune system. It contains potassium, calcium, and B vitamins, which will help your bones. It will help prevent bone loss. So yeah, peppermint is such a blessing. It truly is a gift. It slightly relaxes the lining of the stomach and the intestines. And so that's what's going to help your nervous stomach. That's what's going to help the gastrointestinal cramping. It will help stimulate your digestion. And it helps prevent gallstones from forming because it increases the flow of bile. And so that, listen up, everybody who wants to lose weight, everyone that I know in my life except me and you, it stimulates that bile, and so it's going to help the metabolism of fat. So that's pretty cool. And it has all the vitamins, and it helps the nerves and the brain and concentration and performance. So that is why if you're feeling sluggish and you just open up your bottle of peppermint oil, it really does stimulate, it really does awaken you. Oh my gosh, I love it. Don't touch it to your nose though, or your nose will feel like icy, minty cold. Now, if you would drink this tea and you would think that your heartburn or GERD worsened, well, then obviously stop drinking it. Use your, I know, everyone, please have a sniff. If it would make anything worse, listen to your body. For most people, it helps, but for some people, it might not for whatever reason. So always listen to yourself and do your own research. Just because I'm saying it's good for this, Google, if you trust Google, or, look in your herb books before you actually do anything that I say. There, disclaimer. So I love the idea of putting this in our bath, you guys. Especially if we have any type of rashes or a sunburn, or we just want to relax and calm our muscles. And if you have mint in your garden that's growing rampant, instead of just chopping it and throwing it in the compost, chop it, get it out of where you don't want it, put it in a pot and make a tea, and then just treat yourself to the bath. Treat yourself. I think I'm going to have to do that. Absolutely. So Angela said that, about the stomach. Here's a little recipe. You can add peppermint with fennel seeds, and you can buy fennel at the grocery store. That would help settle an upset stomach, or lemon balm if you have that. But fennel is really accessible. Lemon balm and peppermint help calm the nerves. If you've just been feeling stressed out, which this week, I don't know, I was feeling a little bit of anxiety at night, so peppermint tea is calming. Of course, I went straight for that motherwort. I don't mess around. Just worrying about kiddos or whatever. These herbs can help support us in our life. And especially as we're all getting older, it's important to not just wait till you have the sore throat or the headache or the gas to drink peppermint. Include it in your life because it helps strengthen your bones. And that's another reason. I remember Susan Weed saying that she'd like to make a vinegar with peppermint, because the vinegar helps pull out those minerals. And then when you use that mint on your salad or a little bit in your water, you're adding vitamins and minerals to your diet. So that's really, where my relationship with herbs are right now. I don't want to just wait until it's like a medical emergency to bring them into my life. I just want them to be there to support me as an herbal ally, to nourish me, to help me be strong. Because remember, you are what you eat. And I would definitely be happy to be peppermint. Like, really, Like, I would be more than happy to just live out my days as being peppermint. So this is a great illustration of a big leaf peppermint. I know, it is great. So I am going to ramble on for, probably a whole other half hour. So it's okay. It's okay if nobody needs to stay for all that, because this is definitely a study hour. But if I do inspire you to use it more often, then my work here is done. My work here is done. And for my next little mini magazine that I'm going to make, that's my new hobby now that I'm going to be 40, making these little mini publications. I'm going to try to take all of this information and really summarize 10 things to love about peppermint. It's sad that I'm only going to have to pick 10 because this is an amazing plant and anyone can grow it. Absolutely. And if you can't grow it, buy it in a dried form or the essential oil. So let's just talk about the essential oil for a minute, because I did talk about how you could rub it on your temples for a headache or a migraine. If you have sensitive skin, dilute it in a base oil, olive oil or almond oil or whatever you've got. I just go for the burn. But this little right up here, I'm going to read to you. Peppermint oil contains vitamins A and C. It actually contains omega fatty acids and minerals, including potassium, manganese, iron, magnesium, calcium, and copper. So the numerous health benefits of peppermint oil include its ability to treat a plethora of health problems, which we've covered. If you have a problem, there is a good chance that peppermint will solve it. I love that. One of its best qualities is its antiviral property. So antiviral, that's colds and flu. So this is something that we should be putting in our diffusers if we've got them, or our humidifiers, especially during the winter. So a very small list to review: indigestion. You could make a oil with this and rub it on your belly. You truly could dilute it, rub it on your belly, rub it on your chest for congestion, for relief, for those colds. It's good for headaches. It's good for stress. It's invigorating, good for sore muscles. It kind of is numbing. So if your back is hurting, right, like kind of rub it on your back. It's antibacterial, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, anti-carcinogenic, which means anti-cancer. It's good for asthma, decongestant, expectorant, and the list literally could go on and on and on and on and on. It's amazing. So, yeah, definitely use the oil, drink the tea. I'm just going to finish up probably by showing you some more pictures of the mint here in these books, unless I see them saying something new. Here, these aren't probably the best pictures, but which side are we on? Here. So it's kind of just your green plant, That's not the best picture of it. But if you are uncertain, rub that leaf and the plant will tell you. This says that it relaxes peripheral blood vessels, which is probably why it helps with the headaches. It could also promote sweating, but it's cooling at the same time. So yeah, this would be a great thing. If you're trying not to throw up right on that car ride, I would take along some peppermint tea, drink it before you go, sip on it on the way. Let's see what else here. You can make an infusion, you can make a tincture, you can make a compress, and you can just inhale it. You can use it as a wash with the oil in the same way. Now, this does say avoid prolonged use of the essential oil as an inhalant. So maybe take a break every once in a while, because you don't want it to become irritating. Like we talked about the kids. You got to really watch with the kids, and you never give it to a young baby. Okay, speaking of babies, this is good to know, especially for nursing mothers. Peppermint can reduce milk flow. So use your discernment. If you're already struggling making milk, you don't maybe want to take herbs like peppermint and sage, because those dry up your milk. Now, if you have too much milk, then maybe a little peppermint tea could be good for you. Or if your baby has colic, right? Drinking herbs come in through your milk. But there's probably some other things too. Probably chamomile. Probably be the best thing to drink if you're nursing. But just be aware that it might dry up a little bit of milk if you're nursing. But sage is even more drying. So here is another picture of, oh, they do 2 pages on mint in this book. A lot of different types of mint over here. And then this book dedicates a whole other 2 pages to it. Let's see if I can not glare. So it's just a green plant, really. It's the apple mint that really looks fuzzy, you know, like more tall and different. But mint, it might be hard to identify if you're not super familiar with plants. So that's why you use your nose. But they have pineapple mint, spearmint, apple mint, peppermint. What else do they have here? Ginger mint. That's one of my favorites. It's very, very minty. Ginger mint and black peppermint are berry toothpaste minty. So anyways, there is so many different mints. It's just amazing. You love wintergreen. Oh my gosh. I add wintergreen oil into my counter cleaning spray and my table spray because it is so wonderful. It really is. It's like as soon as you smell it, but you have to watch with wintergreen because it's a little bit toxic. It smells so good, but like you got to really watch that one mint. So here, this is fun, this book, because peppermint's here and here's motherwort. So this might be like my favorite page in this book because I get to look at mint, and over here, this is motherwort. And it's part of the mint family too, but it doesn't taste like mint at all. So this is just saying kind of the same things, digestive. It's a mild stimulant, you know, for your mind, and it is very cooling. Let's see. It doesn't really say anything new, but it does say drinking cool peppermint tea in the summer is just a beautiful way to cool down. And it says avoid large doses in pregnancy. So, and like this has a suggestion for, you know, young children. If you don't want to use peppermint, if that's too strong, use a catmint, which is catnip. Like that is a good alternative for kids. So anyways, we're working our way down here. This book here, this tea book, this I noticed said that there are more than 210 species of mints. Okay, I think I said 1,000 at the beginning of this broadcast. I may have over-exaggerated. I may have over-exaggerated a tiny little bit, but there really is so many different mints, which is why it really drives me nuts whenever the recipe calls for mint. And I'm like, well, do you mean spearmint or peppermint or ginger mint or apple mint or pineapple mint? Like, what do you want? So yeah, they have spearmint, apple mint, pineapple mint, red mint, that's new, ginger mint, American wild mint, Russian mint, Corsican mint, and it's just so many other different types of mint. So yeah, headaches, it's a cure-all, congestion. It's a beautiful plant, you guys. I feel like everyone needs to have peppermint. It says it has been used for palpitations of the heart, and that's interesting. And toothaches and cavities. So it is good for the gums. It is good for tightening and any type of pain. You can gargle with the tea, and that will also get your throat. So if you have an infection in your mouth or your throat, Peppermint is your friend. It's good for stomach cramps, seasickness, nausea, nervous tension, laryngitis, bronchitis. It's just amazing. It's amazing, you guys. Thank you for loving peppermint with me today. In this book of the aromatherapy, it says that peppermint has been used by ancient Egyptians, Chinese, American Indians. It's just been used for everything: digestive, respiratory, circulation, anti-inflammatory, and antiseptic. I like that it says it's good for varicose veins. So this would be a great leg rub. It would not only soothe your muscles, but it could help strengthen those veins and bring relief. Wow. Catarrh, that feeling of stuck. That's why we started drinking it here this winter, because you just like always have that catarrh in your throat. This is also really good for that. Amazing. And it even keeps mice, fleas, and ants away. So that's why mint is a good thing to clean your counter with. It deters ants and fleas and mice. So we're just going to put it all over us. All right, I am finishing up here. I can't believe I talked about peppermint for 46 minutes. Actually, I can. Thank you for joining me. I love you guys. And I love peppermint, and I'm glad that now we can all love it together. All I'm going to do here is read the index. I always love to refer to this book and just look at the index of what he has listed for peppermint, because it's always interesting, and there's usually at least one thing that I didn't think of. We'll see. We'll see if he has anything under peppermint. It has anti-aging properties. Cool. You could use it as a flavoring. For treating backache, bad breath, earache. I might have to look that one up. Earache, emphysema, gallstones. We talked about that. Gingivitis, the gums, headache, heartburn, hives. That's like right on the skin. You can use this on the skin. Indigestion, morning sickness, nausea, pain. Yep, that's what they said too. It's good for pain. He has a new one, scabies. So that's a skin infection. So we could use it right on the skin. And the last one he has is sinusitis, sinus stuff. Why don't they just say sinus stuff? It's a lot easier to say. All right, I want to see what he says about earache. Because would that just be drinking it, or are we actually going to put this in our ear? Let's see, James. Let's see what you have to say about that. And then we'll be done here. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Earache. Let's see. So earache, let's see, peppermint. Okay. A number of herbalists suggest using mints, which are antiseptic, to relieve earache. To me, peppermint sounds most promising because it contains menthol. I would suggest using it as a tea. I know, but you still didn't tell me how. I guess just drink it. Just drink it. For an earache, I would use a garlic oil. I mean, if your ear hurts, even just a plain olive oil, it is so soothing to put oil in your ear and then a little piece of cotton. And then if you have time to infuse some garlic and then strain out the garlic, of course, that will help kill the germs. But while you're suffering, drink some peppermint tea. All right, so that's where we're ending, you guys. Thank you so very, very much. I'm going to finish my tea. Don't have to wait. I mean, I can wait because it's still good even cold. I could add some ice to it and really, really cool down. Enjoy your peppermint oil. Helps you calm down and wakes you up. Perfect. Perfect. We can all chill out and be awake. And then, like I said, if you don't have it in your garden yet, you will. I know you will. You can order it online. And I even have it in my garden, but I never could grow this much. and have this much dried for all winter. So it's nice that we have these amazing people who farm and just grow peppermint by the field, right? Rows of peppermint. I'm in love with those people. I know, motherwort and peppermint, here I come. Yeah, it's a big motherwort week for me. And you'll appreciate this story, Gracie. Where I put my motherwort, at some point this summer, there were going to be guys digging up that part of the yard um, to help fix our septic system and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, should I just move it now, or am I going to be crazy standing in front of it being like, okay, do your work. I'm just going to stand here all day and guard her. I'm just going to guard motherwort all day. So I might have to move it, even though she's just getting established there. Decisions. And then on the other side of the house is my mugwort. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want these guys here, but they have to do their work. We need them to fix it. I know. So it might be a good year for me to find another start of motherwort and put it somewhere in the back of the yard where it's safe, where nobody's going to be walking on it. So anyways, yeah, sometimes we have to defend the things that we love and move it. I know. Oh, good. Angela, I'm glad you're here too. I know I've been so kind of just, I don't know, like, really, not that I'm low, but I just feel like my body's been kind of like integrating a lot, and haven't really, I mean, I think that I want to live stream, but then my body is in my head's like, really? But my heart wants to live stream more often, but you got to be up for it. So I'm so glad to see you guys. I missed you. And I'm here and I'm there and I'm all over the place. So we'll catch each other for sure. So anyways, I love you guys so much. And I'm going to put all my books away and finish my tea. And I will see you again soon. So thank you for joining me. And anyone who watched the replay, my goodness, thank you for watching the replay. Everyone's, this is Sadie from allnaturalme.com. All right, bye.